your screens. But like we always promise that we might disappear, but we always come back for you as our fans because we love you. But we are here at the G20 Summit here at Nasrec, here in Johannesburg. It's the second day of ministers from around 35 countries, right, that are here, and all 15 countries that have been invited as guests. And there are discussions around, we know that South Africa took over the G20 presidents, and it's going to hand it over to US. But now there are a lot of meetings that we're going to see. With next week, we are going also to see the finance meeting, ministers of finance also meeting, just a build up to the summit around October or November, around there. But I'm with my comrade as always, Thuso Khumalo.
Good morning as usual. We welcome you, of course, after a long time. We are here at the G20 Foreign Ministers meeting in Johannesburg, Nasrec, those who know Johannesburg, where really we know that the G20 is composed of the richest of the countries that we have in the world. All the powerhouses when it comes to economy, they are all here discussing issues ranging from quite a number of issues. But just before we delve into issues, the absence of the US here is the talk of the town.
I guess the US absence, in my own thinking, that they just overlooking at South Africa's presidency, because I don't think that US wouldn't have attended if maybe it was on one of their allies, because we know that there has been talks from the US president about South Africa, the land thing and everything. But this is a different issue. If South Africa is going to hand over the G20 presidents and you are not there, you are just sending an ambassador, an acting ambassador, it means for me it's undermining South Africa. And as US, as you are taking over the presidents, you should be there so that the continuity will go on, right? We know that the previous president gave it to South Africa, and South Africa attended all the G20 meetings.
Yes, I think for what is key here is that this is a high-level meeting. Most of the countries, 15 of them, have sent in their foreign ministers, but we find that the US has sent somebody from the embassy. Of course, that has caused some talk. 4, of course, have sent just the deputy ministers. But for South Africa, if you are talking to President Cyril Ramaphosa, if you are hearing what Lamula said, South Africa says they still hope to engage the US because there are other G20 meetings. This is just the first, and the presidents of South Africa are starting. So South Africa is still hoping to engage more the US, especially explaining some of these laws that have caused a friction between the two countries in terms of the land reform, of course. Key also with the US's complaints is about the theme that South Africa has taken, solidarity, equality, US saying they don't believe in that theme. But South Africa coming out saying this theme was agreed by the Shepherds, and this is not a South Africa's idea. It's now adopted. It's now official. So to happen. But going into issues, it's interesting how the G20 is discussing almost everything that all problems, all challenges of the world.
Yes, before I speak on that, but I also on the issue of theme, I think as a country, as the holder of the presidency, I think South Africa is right to a theme that speaks to them, that has volumes to what they believe in. So for US to come in again and say that they don't believe in the theme, they'll have their own chance to choose their own theme that speaks to their people, that speaks to their nation, that speaks to them. But definitely the meeting speaking about the sustainability of economies and making sure that African countries are represented and they have a voice. One thing that I loved about this meeting is that they brought in some countries that are not part of the G20 just for them to be in this conversation, so that South Africa takes all African countries and other countries that are not Africans along with them as the presidents of the G20. This shows that South Africa has the continent at heart.
It follows in the theme of South Africa, inclusiveness. We saw when South Africa was hosting BRICS, Ramaphosa invited a lot of African, in fact, almost all of them were invited to come here, just become spectators. Some of them were invited even to join. So South Africa has this policy where it believes the world is a global village. Everyone should participate. If you hear Ramaphosa's speech yesterday, he said the poorest of the poor countries are carrying the brand, and it's surprising that even when it comes to accessing finance, they are charged more interest rates than countries that don't even deserve to have that funds because they've got enough in their stores. So this is South Africa embracing everyone. But of course, the global geopolitical issues also taking center stage here. You look at the war in Ukraine, where President Trump is trying to negotiate there, and Ramaphosa even going to an extent of inviting the Ukrainian president to come in South Africa so that some of those issues can be discussed, which emphasizes on what South Africa has been saying: let's stop fighting, arms down, sit at the table and discuss these issues to resolve them.
And one thing that I loved about President Cyril Ramaphosa's response to all this, he spoke at length about diplomacy, because the media, we kept on poking him to respond, especially to the Rwandan President Paul Kagame. We know that the president of Rwanda came out saying all sort of things on social medias, but South African president coming out there and saying that he believes in diplomacy. So it shows the maturity in his leadership, such that when the world is looking forward to see exchange of words, then he is calm and he comes back and say he believes in diplomacy. I think it's one thing that shows that his leadership, even with the G20, is going far.
And also the fact that despite the drama that we've seen on Twitter, on X, from the US officials posting, Ramaphosa has kept his cool. He has always said they are looking for opportunities to engage. He has not argued on X or on Twitter or on Facebook. He has kept it diplomatically, meaning South Africa learned quite a lot as far as negotiations are concerned. We know that the freedom of this country was a product of negotiation.
Yes.
It sat with the colonizers, the apartheid people. They said, and now we've got this rainbow nation. Of course, each nation has problems, and South Africa too. But it seems South Africa learned a lot, and the world can learn a lot from South Africa when it comes to approaching these issues with cool heads, trying to make sure you don't talk over the other person, but you talk to each other and understand each other. So these are some of the issues, but the meeting comes to a close today, and we expect that at least there will be some resolutions. Of South Africa has already said there won't be an agreement document as to we've agreed this, but of course there are going to be resolutions to be carried forward as far as the end of this term for South Africa.
Yes, I will come back to you with more information when that happens. But now what we know that the ministers are in sidelines meetings, but also we saw President Cyril Ramaphosa meeting with foreign ministers from different countries, just to have that engagement and put South Africa first, and also Africa on that global map when he is on this, when he's leading this G20 summit that we are looking forward to.
From us here, bye for now. We'll come back with you with the full package of what has been discussed and resolved. But meanwhile, please keep watching, keep tuning in, keep sharing the videos, and of course, your comments are very much welcome. Tuzo Khumalo here at Nasrec in Johannesburg at the G20 Foreign Ministers meeting. Bye for now.
From me, Bongani Siziba, it's a bye for now.